All right, we are going to go ahead and walk through the process of reading a raw analog value and turning that analog value into understandable PSI units. And so what I've got so far is just two tags. One tag is my pressure raw, which is IW96. And then I also have a PSI, which is going to be MW98. So if I go over to my device, their pressure raw is coming in on analog 0. And you can see channel 1 would be IW98, IW100, and IW102. So that's my pressure raw coming in. I'm going to go ahead into main OB1. And the problem that I essentially have is that pressure raw coming in is going to be this number between like 0 and 27,000 something. What is it? I'm looking at the manual over here, and it's like 27,648. That's going to be the high. So obviously that number isn't going to make much sense to me in terms of PSI, but it will make some sense once we norm it and scale it. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. These operations are going to be in our conversion operations, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the norm instruction. So the minimum value for the norm is 0, and the maximum value is 27. That's sort of the max. So these numbers right here are, and I guess this is going to be int going in, right? There's 0. So the value coming in is going to be pressure raw. So our pressure raw is going to be somewhere between 0 and 27,648. And this is just literally analog bits coming uh, into the analog 0 card. Then coming out, we're going to actually create a temporary variable. And so I'm going to call this thing normed pressure. And the idea of a temporary variable is that it is not going to be stored permanently in the memory of the PLC, but only temporarily here as a local variable inside of OB1. So every time OB1 gets called, this temporary variable will be clean and ready to essentially just do one thing for us, which is it is going to hold this value, the normalized pressure, and pass it off to the scale. So our scale value is going to be normed pressure, and this value is going to be between 0 and 1. And then here, my minimum PSI is going to be 0. I know that. And my normed pressure is a real. My high and low range can be integers, and then PSI is just going to be an integer. We're just going to round to the nearest 1 PSI. And that's going to be the way we do that. One of the new concepts here is just the fact that we are using a temporary variable here. Norm pressure gets its value here, it passes it off here, and it can forget it after that. Every cycle, it will start at blank, and we're just essentially using this right here so that we don't need to create another tag in our tag table, and it just makes our programming a little quicker. So that's all for this one. Stop.